everyone, and welcome back to Live with Brink of Speed and Octane Hour. Look who we have on the show tonight.
Hey,
welcome, Rick.
Dude, this is great.
He's here live in person. It's
I got to tell you guys.
It's like the Brady Bunch box. You're actually here.
This really means a lot to me that you invited me down. We talked about this last year, in fact, and now I'm here, and it's great. It's just been a fun time.
Well, good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us on our Sunday Coffee with Conti. My name is Rick, an exclusive sales representative for Corvette for 30 years. Sharing the information and the experiences is really a thrill for me, so thank you for joining me on my channel. We're going to share with you today some segmented highlights from the guest appearance we made on the Brink of Speed channel earlier this week. But first, let me address, I've gotten all of your text messages, emails, and phone calls, and I'm very well aware that some of the 2026 information has been leaked. Some of the channels have shared some of the very pictures that I've had for a while, and I've told you before, there's sometimes, in this case, no value in being first. I had to be a little more discretionary. Now that it's out there, we're probably going to extend the conversation on that and share some information that you haven't gotten yet for the 2026, the unofficial changes yet to be announced from Chevrolet. That will be coming soon on our channel. Welcome to the show today. If you've been on this channel for a while, thank you for that loyalty and that support. I really appreciate that. If you're new to the channel, let me tell you something that you may not realize, and I like to emphasize that because people, sometimes it's happening until you step back and realize what's happening. You're like, wow, this really is cool. I talk about the things that you do and the people that you meet because of this car, because of Corvette, that you never would have done, and people you never would have met because of Corvette. It really is a life changer. It's a memory maker. And because of this car, you guys see it on the channel, we're building new friendships that we never would have had. That includes the recent ones from the Brink of Speed channel, Mark and Darren, and especially Mike. What an honor to have an opportunity to be a guest on their platform. On our show today, we're going to share some segments from that Wednesday night live show, one hour and 47 minutes, and it flew by. I had such a great time talking with them, talking with you guys through the chat. Thank you again for those of you that joined us. In case you missed that, again, we're going to share some highlights from that show today. And it's actually a show I almost didn't make it to. Hour and 40-minute delay getting out of Columbus, going to Dallas, and then I get there for my rental car, and I felt like Steve Martin in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, even though I was E10. I think he was V5. I get to E10, and there's no car.
Fine.
I had to go back, wait in line, get another car assigned to go to the hotel real close there, get a shower, and I call Mike and I say, hey, I'm on my way, and he goes, are you kidding me? And I go, no, I had a little hiccup with the car, and I just took a quick shower, and I'm on my way. He goes, dude, you're 45 minutes away. We're going to be leaving the restaurant when you get here. And when I got there, we'd have to get over to the studio to actually do the live show. I was so thankful. Real quick, again, a shout out to Sean Jones at Corvette Invasion. We'll be at that show in July down in Texas. He drove over 3 hours just to see us for 10 minutes. My customer, Eli, I didn't have an opportunity. I wanted to talk with him and do one of those segments after the send-off. I didn't get a chance to do that, but we will at some point. What a great guy. He loves his car, and he drove almost 2 hours to come see us for 10 minutes. I was just, you guys know that I have a diabetes condition. I had not eaten for 12 hours. I called Mike. I said, man, can you get me some food? I just got to eat something when I get there, just a little something before we go. I got there. It was tough. Sean actually, there was 30 people in line. Sean says, here, I'll handle this. He got me just a little bit of roasted chicken. I sat down at the table. Right, so this is the vlog before the show with Mike and all the guys from Octane Hour. Sean's here from Corvette Invasion. There's one of my customers never met. Eli, good to see you, man. I come to a barbecue place wearing white. What an idiot. Hey, I need a towel, please. Just wrap me up in a towel. Oh my gosh. We got some chicken. We're going to have a great show tonight. You're going to see some of the highlights on today's show. We're going to edit up the version that we shared on Wednesday night. Yeah, I'm in a barbecue place with this on, but they go, hey, Rick, you need some silverware? No, I just grabbed the chicken and just 5 bites and time to go. You're going to see here soon, there was no show prep. I had no idea what questions were coming. We were shooting from the hip. But again, when you have a deep-seated passion for this car, It's just conversation, and we had a blast.
All right, so we're in the studio. You guys are going to watch the replay of the Octane Hour. I was honored to be a guest on Wednesday night. This will be the edited version, hanging out with the guys. There's Mike from Brink of Speed.
What's up, guys?
And guess what we're going to do today? We're going to talk about Corvette. Imagine that.
And thanks to Mark reminding me, I made this big deal about me being on Mike's show about my pants, and I almost forgot to debut the pants, so thank you, Mark, for mentioning that.
Well, for me, for doing YouTube, I get to interact, what I do for a living and then tie it into YouTube, and then you guys are doing YouTube as Corvette owners, so I think that we can complement our conversations with some business stuff, enthusiast stuff, so I am excited to be here and have conversation with you guys tonight and the audience as well, so get those questions, get them in. Mark is watching, Darren is watching.
That's right.
Get
We're
'em
gonna
ready.
watch for the questions, yes.
Yeah.
I just wish the studio was big enough for you to see his pants.
Oh, I did. Thank you. I forgot.
Can you
They're
guys
like, yeah,
stand up
show a
real quick?
leg.
Show
Yeah,
them
I gotta
your
show you the pants.
Go up
See,
there.
let's see if this.
Yeah, let's see if the other camera angle will get it.
Mike said, Rick, don't fall.
Yeah, be careful on that. Oh, yeah.
Oh my God, Rick! Oh my God!
No, Rick, go down.
Hope you're enjoying today's Coffee with Conti so far. We've got a little tidbit on a new interior coming for 2026 as well in the highlights from the Brink of Speed Octane Hour show this past week that we were a special guest on.
Can I say hi to the guys at the restaurant real fast?
You do it.
I just hi to Sean Jones from Corvette Invasion. Nice to come over to see us. One of my customers, Eli, made a special trip to come and see me, and I think he drove almost 2 hours to get here, and I saw him for a whole 5 minutes. So that's how tight it's been before we went out tonight. So guys, it was really nice to see you. Thanks for coming over. I appreciate that.
Yeah, Sean Jones, thanks again. He showed up and he drove about 3 hours
Oh, wow.
and
Down
brought
from,
us some gifts. He,
all mine's in the car.
He's Corvette Invasion guy
Yeah.
and brought us some really cool tumblers with our names on it, with Corvette Invasion on it. So
Sweet.
And then bought us dinner.
I really like all the show prep we did, too. This is our show prep.
It wasn't supposed to be that way.
Literally, that's the show prep.
That's right.
Hey, come on and sit here. We're on. Great.
Yeah, we're on right
How you
now.
We have somebody
Crazy.
writing in that GM just in. They're going to change the name of Rapid Blue to Conti Blue for next year.
Yes.
There you go. It's right here. It's from a source. It
That's
says
right.
it right here.
That would be so
Every
awesome.
purchase of a Rapid Blue, you get matching pants.
Rick and Honey Blue. So how long have you sold Chevys and when did you exclusively go to Corvette?
Good question. For those that follow, no. I've been doing Corvettes exclusively for 30 years.
Holy.
I had a small stint with Pontiac that I actually, and this will be in my book. I'm going to write a book too. But I might as well tell you guys, so for those that care. I was a weird time in my life that put me into the car business because I was in radio. And I did this car business thing. I just did not like it. Fought with the bosses all the time. He said, go say this or go say this. And I go, what? I go, that's stupid. I said, you do what I say. I'm like, okay, whatever. So finally, at the end of the year, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm selling for 9 months. I knock out their number one guy of 16 years, and they give me this little plaque. And we're upstairs in this beautiful office, just similar to what we have here in the studio. And we're getting yelled at how bad we suck, and you're not a salesperson, and you're snowing yourself, and you're snowing. And never forget, he said, snowing your families, and he's screaming at the top of his lungs. And this
Real motivating guy,
This
right?
went on for a long time, and I said, you know what, I'm done with it. I threw my plaque down, and I just quit. I guess, it was nuts, but my direct sales manager knew of my background and says, hey, you got to be into a specialty. And I said, this car business thing, I said, I'm just not into it. He goes, no, but he goes, you get along with people really well. He goes, I think you would be good in a specialty. I said, dude, the only car I really like is Corvette. He goes, I got a buddy at a Chevy store. Go meet with him. So I've got an interview that I haven't aired on my channel yet, but I actually briefly met with this guy, and I saw, finally I put my arms around it, and I'm gonna be the Corvette guy over there. I was going to take it real serious. Went in with the presentation, and they took my presentation and he threw it off to the side. I actually got in an argument with Mike in my initial interview. It's like, I go, well, what about that Corvette stuff?
Yeah.
And he goes, I don't care about that. And they were the biggest Corvette dealer at the time up in Amherst, Ohio. And then he goes, well, you can have that desk over there. And I went, there's no phone over there. He goes, I'll get you a phone. Do you want the job? Yeah, I want the job. This is pretty much how it went. And then all of a sudden I go, oh, I need a demo. And see, the rule was you couldn't get a demo unless you've been there for 6 months. And I said, well, I was the #1 salesman at Jackson Pontiac. So he gave me a car and everybody hated me. So it was great, but I took it serious and I really, really put my arms around Corvette.
Up in Amherst, that's Cleveland, where my kids grew up.
west of Cleveland.
What was the name of the deal? It was Amherst Chevy?
Yeah, no, I don't want to name the dealer. That's another story for another time. Shut up, Mark.
Sorry. It was,
I won't be bashful.
dealer.
We don't want to talk about it. I'll just let you know we're not going to talk about it. But it's
Ford dealership.
That's kind of where it
after he
started.
left.
But I mean, and in that store, there's a guy that told me, he goes, you're going to be in the car, because I didn't want to go sell all the Chevys. You know, I had to take all the training to be qualified, but I didn't want to do the Impalas and the Malibus and the conversion vans and all this stuff. In fact, I had to sell, speaking of conversion vans, to get the right to go to the C5 training. It was to the top 2 salespeople. So it's like they knew I was going to be the Corvette guy, but I just didn't get the ticket. So and I'm selling my butt off. And I think I sold some used car that day, and I needed one more deal so I would win the contest. And I sold me an Astro conversion van.
Nice.
I'll never forget it. It's the only one I ever sold. And I was able to go to Miami for the 1997 reveal. It was
Sweet.
crazy. But one guy that didn't go, who was the Corvette guy before I got there, was upset. And he didn't take it too serious. He says, you can't be in the car business selling only one car. I said, oh, yeah? Watch me. And in fact, I don't know if the internet was a thing back then, but we were in the Corvette and Chevy Trader magazine, and it was like, call one of these 3 guys, and that's how we got our leads to sell cars. And still back then, as I do now, 3 out of 4 cars I sell go out of state. And I remember it was like the middle of the launch of C5, and one of the sales managers brought us in, and they said, okay, you 3 guys have been in the magazine, you're getting all the Corvette leads and calls. Rick, you have no customer base. We'll talk to you in a second. You've been selling here for 10 years, and you have 6 of the hottest Corvette out ever. Okay, next guy, you have 10. Rick, you have 125 out. He says, clearly you're taking this more serious than the other guys. He goes, you 2 out of the magazine, Rick, you get all the calls. And then I started really working on my marketing. And then one of my customers said, you guys would think this is cute because now I edit my own videos and still learning. But my customer, I remember Mark from Canton, Ohio, he comes up and he goes, man, you're doing all this work and sending out all these newsletters. He goes, you need a website. And I said, what's that?
What's a website?
What is that? But you know what, though? The way he described it was awesome, because he goes, it's just like a book, and your information's on a different page, And I go, oh, okay, that's great. So I designed all this stuff. It took him 6 months, and then we were learning as the site went up, and the original site looked like you were looking over the windshield of a head-up display on a C5.
Oh, cool.
And all the buttons were functional. You know, the information button, the mileage button, it would go into like a news tab, inventory tab, and then the turn signals actually, when you hit it, would accelerate and make a big, loud acceleration, and the RPMs would kick up.
Back then, that's pretty interesting.
Well, then a guy calls me and he goes, hey, man, love your website. He goes, but dude, he goes, I got my computer in my bedroom. He goes, and I went on your website, and as soon as you go on the website, 2 in the morning, his wife wakes up, starts screaming at him. So I called, hey, Doug, can we get an on-off switch for this acceleration thing?
ordering that
You know, so
Corvette again,
we were
Rick?
constantly learning, you know. It was pretty neat. So that was way back then, but
That's funny.
now I'm still learning, and I'm still having a blast. And, you know, 30 years in, people ask me, and I'm sure you're probably going to say the same thing, how much longer are you going to do this? And I really just don't want to stop. I really don't want to put a timeline on it. I mean, if
Having too much fun.
I do enjoy it. I really do. And if you guys ever met me in person, you guys know off camera, on camera, I'm the same dude. I really, truly enjoy this car immensely. I'm immersed in this marketplace. I've predicted stuff from a passion standpoint, not from a intel standpoint. And when they come true, it's just like, yeah, I feel really connected. I feel like I know exactly what we need, what we want, and here I was right again, you know. So I get excited. It's like little wins for me behind the scenes. But, yeah, I'm having a good time, man.
Awesome. All right. Well, question number 2. What made you decide to start your YouTube channel? That's part 1.
Do I have to give a real answer to that?
What or who was your
Safe
inspiration?
space. Come on now, safe
We
space.
know
I'm sorry, what's
Hang
this?
on. What or who was your inspiration, and what year did you start it?
Didn't Chuck get you going on?
No, he did not. And actually, I do have an answer. That's a good question. I'd forgotten about that, but you just made me realize it.
Love Chuck Billy.
17 was a year that things were changing in the business, within the dealership, within the marketplace, the anticipation of the mid-engine car. It was funny that somebody, and we'll talk about this later too, so many people said, "Oh no, I don't want a mid-engine Corvette," and now look at us, we all freaking love it. But I was trying to find another way to market myself and reach people, and Roman Atwood was a local guy in Columbus. Now, he's a big YouTuber, 10, 12 million followers.
Oh, wow.
And it was just like a daily vlog thing that he did, but he had a much lower demographic than I. And I would watch him when I sold him a car. He did a car for his dad, like a surprise type of thing. And when he was there filming, and I'm like, you know what? I can do that. You know, I think I want to do that. And I started doing it. I didn't know what I was doing. I was all over the place. The editing process was, it's still stressful, but now I know what I'm getting into. But immediately when we had videos with customers or information on the car, you folks replied instantly. I just watched that engagement and I'm like, wait a minute, I think there's something to this YouTube thing. So I can't see myself not doing it. It is another full-time job. I work 80 to 90 hours a week from sales and from YouTube. But you know what, dude? I'm having a blast, and it's truly worth it. It really is.
Wow.
All right.
Can I ask a question out of order or not?
He gets to. He's on the show. He's
Yeah,
allowed
go
to.
for it.
So I get kind of why you started your channel, because you're trying to get some marketing synergy and some sales. What in your entire career, what year stands out as like a two-part question? The best year where things were just so easy, and then the worst year. Like, what was the year you're like, damn, this year is just a grinder?
Oh, I don't even have to think about that. 2014, best year. Huge stress, the anticipation, because you're coming off C6. You know, when's this car coming? We went through a lot of what we went through in C8 through the summertime. What's the status of my car? What's the status of my car? To the point where I had customers fighting with me that, you know, my allocation was released first, but it wasn't built first. Even if it was built first, it didn't ship first. You know, why did VIN number such and such get this? Because I used to keep my website up to date, and I would put the VIN numbers and I put the statuses up there. I was the first guy for these other dealerships that did status updates.
Yeah.
I started that before anybody, and now I just don't have the site running. I really want to get it back up again. But people would follow that, and they would say, well, so-and-so's VIN is this, and his car's at 4,200, and it shipped, but my car was built. And it was like, really? I mean, but that's how it was really, really
Rick,
bad.
you need to drop that from your website.
So just a lot of
Too much
enthusiasm for the
information.
C7.
Yeah, but you know what? It was a rush to the gate, and then it was over by the end of the year. At the time, I don't think the record stands anymore, but in October of 2013, the launch of C7, I had the record for the most new Corvettes delivered by a salesman. I had 60 cars delivered that month.
Wow, in a month.
And I couldn't get them all done. There were still more sitting against the wall. Chuck was trying to take the covers off. And if I may, just real quick, a story. We were all learning at that time because we never had Corvette shipped with in-transit covers. So it was another element to, you know, get the car ready and that. And I was doing all I could, my diligence. Hey, Mr. So-and-so, your car's here. Sorry, it's going to be about 4 or 5 days before we get to it. And just wanted you to know it's here. And I'm in the middle of a delivery, and they pulled up. They drove out of state like 6 hours, okay? And I'm in the car showing the features, which I love the Dog and Pony Show because it's fun to see the customer get excited. And I want you to know how to use your car. It's not see your keys, see your car, see you later. I actually do the job and I finish it, okay? So I'm sitting there with this lady, incidentally, and then the wife pulls up and taps on the window. Excuse me, as I'm thinking, gosh, I just freaking called you yesterday. And I told you 5 days, but okay. I said, yeah, I'm with this lady right now. She goes, that's my car over there, and I'm not leaving until I get my car. I said, well, it's a Saturday. I apologize. Our technician is not here today. And she starts barking. All of a sudden, this lady leans over, and I won't say what she said. There were some colorful words when she got done, and I said, I love you. I said exactly what I wanted to say, but I couldn't say it.
Oh, that's funny.
That's awesome.
It's like, wow. But yeah, people were crazy. But by the end of 14, it was pretty much over because there was inventory. And then the most stressful would be 2020. Would be the launch of C8, where we got letters from Chevy. You're getting this many cars, plus or minus whatever, you know, percentage. I was like, okay. So we took pre-orders predicated on that, and then we had the strike, and then we had COVID, and you name it, it happened. And we got a fraction. I think we got 25% of that letter. So that's where the snowball started, and we were just never able to catch up. The night of the launch, July 19th, I was at the office, and we were able to see our allocation that night. The next morning, we had 770 emails.
Holy.
My boss goes, "Did you see all those emails?" I said, "Dude, I got news for you. There ain't no way." The next day, another 600 come in. Ooh. And we appreciated it, but it's just like,
you don't have the cars to sell.
I can't tell you what I don't have. Yeah. And there was such a information communication breakdown with the launch of C8, unlike we had in the past. And I've been sales manager for Corvette at all the other stores I worked at, so I order the cars and I'm very familiar with all that.
So I mean, that's about in 2020. I mean, just your opportunity to sell cars, you were taking a 75% hit just because you didn't have the inventory.
It was tough, and the anticipation for that car was similar to what it was in 2014. However, that lasted for 4.5 years,
right,
not 7 months. So yeah,
so
it was.
That 1 year stretch of stress was really like 3.5 years of stress.
Yeah. What do you mean 1 year stress?
Well, you said 2020.
Dude, it's
all right, okay. Well,
I'm 5 years in, man. I think I've aged 20 years in the last 5. I'm not kidding you. And I get it, you know. And people were seeking information and frustrated, but you know, I would tease sometimes on my channel, and I'd hold up the "I don't know" sign because it wasn't what you wanted to hear that I was going to tell you. It was I really didn't know. As you needed to know, we didn't know. It wasn't. We weren't trying to be difficult. We just didn't know, and it was frustrating for us because, you know, I teased and said I don't like the hide the weenie program from General Motors, and it's just like, you know, give us the information we need so we can at least tell them something, and right. we just never got it. Kind of what's going on right now with ZR1.
Right.
Yeah.
So Rick, just to follow up to that question, now that it was so hard to get cars for the to match up to the emails, now you have more cars now.
Right.
So talk about the challenge there of becoming more of a salesperson, or what you have to do to, because you've got cars on the lot that you could sell now that before you had a line of people and you'd call them when you were ready.
And it doesn't bother me. And I know right now people are looking for price, and price, in my opinion, doesn't sell cars. You can get a great price, but if you don't know what you're buying, if you don't have a good experience, if you don't feel comfortable with the people or the company that you're dealing with, then what's the point of spending 75 grand with that guy? You could spend 78 with somebody else, and you know, the best deal is really a perception. It's not right. Dollars and cents. Yeah. And I think the relationships I try to build, and I'm competitive. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to be competitive, but sometimes people, if they're basing their buying decision solely on price, I think that's the wrong thing to do. And right now, I'm not too scared about that because this goes back to where we actually did our jobs, knew the car, how are you going to use the car, overcome objections, right. Talk about the features. What's the difference in 1LT, 2LT, 3LT? Constantly, do I need front lift? I don't know where you live. We go through all that stuff. Tell me about mag ride for the non-Z51 versus Z51. They're long conversations. Sure. And when I have those conversations right now, what's been happening, Mark, and it's frustrating for me. It is what it is. You spend all that time really trying to earn that business, whether the guy's 2 feet in front of you or 2,000 miles away. Then they'll take that data after they've complained about the dealership that won't give them any time of day. Well, hey, now I know exactly what I'm getting. I got it all specced out. I'm going to go down there and I'm going to buy from them. Yeah. And sometimes they even spend more money because they're afraid, well, I got to ship the car. This one of the things that I do the YouTube channel for. Now it actually gives me a chance to showcase what I do right. and really, truly how easy it is. And I talked about that about a week and a half ago. I did a deal with a gentleman in California who was so nice and waited forever because he got a high wing. That's another story within itself. But he did wait. And he was understanding, and so now we're doing the logistics and the paperwork, and we do everything electronic signing now. And it was done in 15 minutes, and
wow.
He goes, that's it? And I go, yeah, dude, that's it. He goes, man, I'd be down at my dealership for 4 or 5 hours.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so ease of doing business, there's a great value in that.
More highlights from the Octane Hour, the Brink Speed Show that we were a guest on this past week. Thank you again, guys. That really meant a lot to me, and I had a great time. It was really, truly an honor to be on your platform discussing Corvette with everybody. And here we are discussing 2025 production, most likely going to be extended.
Yeah, let's get as many questions as we can. I got all kinds of stories, and absolutely. I love talking with you guys, and we'll stay as long as you guys are here watching, so thank you.
We haven't talked about the ZR1 enough.
Sure, thanks. There's the rally killer. Let's talk about the ZR1.
Well, first of all, let's talk about the main subject, which is 2025 production.
Okay.
And will it be extended? I'm guessing the answer to that is yes.
Well, when was it supposed to end? Or when did they announce it ending?
It was supposed to end the end of May.
The end of May.
26 was supposed to start June 2nd.
Right.
And then I did a video. Was it yesterday? I lost track of the days. It was yesterday.
It was yesterday, yeah.
And only when I got confirmation from a Chevy entity, Corvette Museum, communicating with a customer that their tentative build week of their 2025 was June 16th.
Oh.
Now, here's a small segment. I describe the way I perceived it, the new blue interior coming for 2026.
I've seen a new blue that it's replacing, and it's a it's got
Marina blue.
No, I wouldn't say that. No, it's not like that at all. That would be really cool from the 60s. That would be really cool. It's more of a like a cobalt blue, I would describe it. A little bit more of a purple twinge to it. I'll show you guys off air so you can see
we'll
what it
have
looks
two
like.
purples? Two purples?
But you know what though? It won't go with Hysteria. They'll clash. So yeah, it's more on the blue side where Hysteria is more on the purple side. Right. So yeah.
Coffee with Conti continues, and here's another great idea. It was talked about. It was rumored that they were going to do it. They haven't, but I think it's something that they should do, offering custom paint colors on our Corvette.
And I remember years ago a rumor from a really good contact, but it never came to be when they were building the new paint booth. I was told that they were going to have custom paint colors that you would pay and have custom. Man, that's going to be great. And it's just never happened. But I mean, that could be something too. Rather than them producing and see if it works, maybe bring out the custom paint color.
Like Porsche paint to sample, right? You can choose any color they've
ever
ever
pay
had.
10 grand and get the paint and people to do it. You know, so they make one or two of them, and the way they clean those guns so quickly, they can not interrupt the line.
Right.
I think it would be a good idea if they had the ability to do that. I think that then you would have that broader palette that we want, and they're painting to match rather than painting a bunch just to see if it works. Right. I mean, look at what happened to Cacti. I didn't think it was going to make it.
But it took off after it kind of.
Yeah, it always does as soon as you take it away. But I didn't think they would give up on it in a year. Usually that's a 2-year deal. Yeah. But yeah, they gave up on it in a year.
Yeah,
so.
I just think especially the higher end buyers that are used to ordering a car and doing paint to sample, or they want that, right? And we're getting to these prices where you're paying almost $200,000. I want my car to be different.
Yeah, I'm going to break a story for you I haven't done yet. This is a rumor too, so I'm going to break this on your channel. So if GM gets mad, you can siren just something small, because we're talking about customization. So if GM gets mad, you can call him and have him take the video down. I'm sick of getting those phone calls.
I won't take the video down. I don't have any loyalty.
Speaking of exotic and customizing, it's just a rumor. Okay. Rumor, cover my butt there, and I think it might be ZR1 only, and I saw a picture of a Ferrari at the Detroit Auto Show, and it had these exotics are really doing this. These guys are wacky in their customization, and it had 2 different seats.
Yeah.
Oh, I've seen that.
And I'm hearing that might be a possibility.
Well, Lamborghini did that. Remember that one you did with,
So that would
colored seats?
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't remember the reason they did that, but.
Yeah, it's
actually the new Ferrari
was it
SF90? Is it?
No. The supercar that's coming out. Well, I'm drawing a blank.
The what?
The new supercar Ferrari that hasn't came out.
Oh yeah. The
why am I drawing a blank?
I know what you're talking about. I can't think of the name either.
F80. Yeah, the F80. It has a black seat and a red seat, I believe.
Yeah. But anyways, that little tidbit for whatever it is for the ZR1 exotic folks, that may or may not be a big deal to people, but when I get new pieces of information like that, I have to be discretionary on how we talk about it. Still not confirmed yet, but once it does, you go, oh yeah, Rick said.
And here's a quick story about a car that we sold that was never driven.
Stephen Rapp.
Yes.
He says, hey, Rick.
Hey, what's up, Steve? Yes, I do. Bought a 70th anniversary Z06 and let it sit in the garage. So when he bought the car, sorry, Steven, I had to tell the story. I love you to death. He fought like crazy to get this car. You couldn't get the pearl white. Yeah. He gets the car, finally gets a car, and he had a car prior that he traded. What did you have, like 200 miles on the darn thing or something like that? And so he gets the anniversary Z06, and he says, hey, I'm not really using the car. I'm going to trade it. And he bought a nice Silverado from me. And then what we do when we're doing the electronic deals, I need you to take a picture of the odometer so we don't mess up Carfaxes and stuff. So he takes a picture of the odometer and sends it over to me. And I go, no, I need the picture of the odometer that's on the car right now. That's what was on it when I shipped it to you. He goes, yeah, I know. It's been sitting in the garage ever since. I said, oh my gosh.
How long did he have it for?
I don't know, a year or so, something like that.
And literally no mileage. Right, that's worse than me.
Yeah.
Quick conversation now from Wednesday night's Octane Hour on the Brink of Speed YouTube channel. The full video link is going to be down below in the description. Here we are talking about the General Motors suppliers.
Let's get these suppliers on board that can make the product, make a good quality product, and make it in the volumes that we need. I don't understand why that's a problem. The constraints are a real sore subject for me, and I'm to the point now, I'm 30 years in, there's no reason for me to bite my lip anymore. If I do, then I look like I'm part of the problem rather than the solution. So it's like, I think it sucks, and I'm not happy about it, and there's not a darn thing I can do about it.
Your honesty.
I appreciate that.
So question for you, Rick.
Yeah.
What has been kind of the intel that you're gathering on the new ZR1? I mean, you haven't put a lot of orders in, but you're taking a lot of calls from people that may be putting orders in. Convertible versus coupe. Just in my small circle, it seems like people are leaning towards the coupe big time.
Toward the coupe, and I won't say and I'm able to scan unsold orders, and I know that there's a dealer that will remain nameless out of respect to that dealer that ordered some stock ZR1s, an abundance of them in the first cycle that I was able to see before everything went back to the 2000 status, and it's still kind of stuck in limbo. Yeah. They ordered 15 convertibles and 1 coupe.
What?
And I'm like, who's sleeping at the wheel on this deal? It's I think the coupe with the split window, in that engine you need to see. As much as I love the convertible, but if I got a Z06, I probably still would get convertible because now they got the engine appearance package. But you've got to see that intake. It's just it's dynamic. But yeah, for ZR1, we talked about that again briefly. We don't know what's going on with those orders. I mean, they're stuck there, and all I'm getting is that we're working on it. We should have been working on it before you gave us allocation and released the orders and then pulled them back. I mean, it's just, again, you're setting that uneasiness with the consumer, the dealers, and the people buying the car. I think the car is going to be very, very limited. I've talked about this on my channel too many times. I don't know who it was. It doesn't even worth naming because the guy's an idiot. He posted this article and said that GM's going to build as many ZR1s as you want. And he took out of context what Chevy said. They said, we're going to build as many as we can. Yeah. So, it's a play on words. And when I get Chevy memos, I read them several times and dissect them, trying to say, all right, really, what are you telling me here? What are you not telling me here? Because you can't take it. You can't take it at face value.
All right, guys, one more clip to share with you today. Thanks for joining us on my Coffee with Conti show. This is highlights from the live Octane Hour that we were a guest on the Brink of Speed YouTube channel, talking about Mike's first experience of Corvette. And then we get into just a little bit of C4 trivia.
God has blessed me so much to grow up loving this car as well.
Sweet.
From the time I was 6 years old.
That's awesome. What was the first? Do you remember your first Corvette when you were 6 years old?
Yeah.
What was it?
It was a C4.
C4?
Yeah.
Remember the color? What was the color?
I don't remember the color. All I know is
he's just like, look at that big old car, right?
Were on top of it, telling me, look at this car, because I'm the youngest.
Right.
And so they were good at knowing the difference between a regular C4 and a ZR1 as well.
Right.
So yeah,
that's
that was
where you learned it. There you
go.
And
I grew up right next to Motor City. So I always drove through Sterling Heights, Michigan, where all the plants are.
Did you ever go to the Woodward Dream Cruise and stuff like that? You did? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's a classic.
So,
do you remember how to tell the ZR1 and a C4 from the ass end?
Yeah, the
square headlights.
No,
tail light, the third brake light.
No, the brake light up top.
That, and then the spacers on the license plate. There's actual where the reverse lights are. There's extra spacers there for the wider body. You can actually look at that back there. Yeah, because a lot of guys have the C4. It's like, oh, I'm on eBay and I bought me a ZR1 badge for $3. I'm going to put it on my car. When you look at the ass end of the car, if there wasn't that black spacer beyond the license plate where the reverse lights are, then it wasn't the wide body. It wasn't the ZR1.
So to get to the point where now, the last 7 years, next month will be 7 years that I've been on YouTube.
Oh, wow, cool.
And I owned a C5 Z06 back when I was 25 years old.
How many vets have you had? I did not know that.
The E-Ray's my 6th.
Okay, wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
So to own 6 vets, to do nothing but talk about vets all the time and drive a E-Ray and I've had 3 Z06s and just everything out there that I get to do is just a blessing. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much, Rick.
Thanks. You guys have been awesome.
Seriously, man.
This has been a lot of fun, man.
It's been a great couple of years.
You guys have been so gracious to me and supportive of me and allow me the platform on your channel to talk and tell stories. That means a lot. Thank you for that.
Seriously, you used to just be a fellow YouTuber. Now you're a great friend.
Thanks, brother.
Seriously,
you too, man. Thanks, dude. Really appreciate that very much.
Now, throw away the lock and key. Keep him in this room till next week. He's with us.
Guys, give us a big thumbs up. We do this every other Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. It's called Octane Hour. Subscribe to Mr. Rick. Yes, sir.
Appreciate you, man.
Give him a follow on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. Any other?
Just Rick Corvette Conti. Yeah,
there
you
go.
Find me. Yeah,
and you better buy your car from him too. He's the one to buy it from.
Yeah, threaten him. That'll work really good. Nice job.
Get on his ZR1 and Grand Sport list. He's taking names.
I don't have a ZR1 list.
At the end of the
Here's
show,
my ZR1 list.
Yeah, we're gonna edit. We're gonna put his cell number right here. It'll be right here.